India's apex court this week denied same-sex marriages. On the onset, this might appear to be disappointing, but a look closer shows that the country's courts have acknowledged the rights of queers, and there are ways for development and improvement on their rights in the country. Here's the story.
A red letter day for the LGBTQI community in India, with legal acceptance of queer couples in the spotlight. First up, the verdict from India's apex court in black and white. The five-judge bench unanimously ruled against legalizing same-sex marriage in India. The bench also ruled in a 3-2 verdict against civil unions for non-heterosexual couples. In essence, the Supreme Court bench left it to Parliament to legislate on the issue, adding that it did not have the powers to strike down provisions of the Special Marriage Act. The petitioners have sought a broader implementation of this act to include same-sex marriages too. And what came out is that the five-judge bench's refusal to legalize same-sex marriages is based not on an in-principle opposition to marriage equality, but on legal technicalities and concerns of judicial legislation.
It has clearly stated that Supreme Court, for that one, judiciary cannot make new laws. So that is why it was very clear from the day one that Supreme Court cannot make a law, and the demand by the petitioner seeking a declaration and recognition of marriage and same-sex marriage was not viable, and that is what the Supreme Court has stated today.
Look closely though, and a visible shift is noticeable. Sample the observations made by the Supreme Court bench. Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud listed several directions for the centre and state governments, asking them to set up a panel to ensure queer couples are not discriminated against and to spread awareness about queer rights. The Chief Justice stressed that an individual's rights to enter into a union cannot be restricted on the basis of sexual orientation. The Chief Justice backed same-sex couples' rights to adopt children, saying the law cannot assume that only heterosexual couples can be good parents. The bench took exception to the contention that the pleas for legal validation of same-sex marriage reflected an urban elitist concept, saying that queerness is neither an urban nor an elite concept or characteristic. Justice S.K. Kaul said non-heterosexual unions and heterosexual unions must be seen as both sides of the same coin. What came through were definite tilts towards moving out of past mindsets.
The best part about the judgment is that some good pointers have been legalized. Queer people can adopt, and that a trans woman can marry a heterosexual man, or a trans man can marry a heterosexual woman, and vice versa. So there are some positive things from the judgment.
WION spoke to Abhishek Ray and Chaitanya Sharma, one of the many married gay couples in the country who were looking forward to the Supreme Court verdict. Socially, they may be married, but now the couple say they still have to struggle for their fundamental rights.
Something which has been pending forever, for so long, like Section 377 being decriminalized in like almost more than 5 years back. And then this entire process that we had to go through, this entire bench of judges that was set, and raising our hopes so high, and then at the end of the day we actually come back to ground zero.
The government have asked Parliament to make one committee and work around the fundamental rights of the queer people, but there is no timeline given to that, by when the Parliament have to set the committee, or they have to close it discussion. So that loophole is there. So we definitely want, if not in our lifetime, at least for upcoming generation, it should be legalized. So the verdict, we will not say we achieved a lot. We achieved in certain areas.
Despite the non-legislation of same-sex marriages, LGBTQI activists express hope that this is a move in the direction of getting rights that have long been denied the community.
In the awareness, we will keep on working towards that. We need more voices. Are waiting for people to get agree with this 10% population right. And do you really think the same happened with the Sati Daha Pradha? Like it got it got removed. If you talk about the child marriages, we removed that because that was actually it was not in favor of the citizens, Indian citizens. So we actually removed that. We have not waited for entire population to get ready for this or to accept this and pass the law. We actually passed the law first, and we ensured that everyone follows the same. So I think the same approach is required over here. First, we need to pass the bill so accordingly the population or the society will be accepting it.
There's no official legislation from the centre, but as per Tuesday's Supreme Court observation, state legislatures are free to enact laws recognising and regulating same-sex marriage. India's constitution grants both states and parliament to enact laws on marriage. That in itself is a big step forward. The judges have had their say. The ball is in the court of parliament and the legislature.